Hi, greetings to all. World has been always, I would say, ever changing, and India is also witnessing a huge increase as far as development is concerned. So there is a good growth in the economy, and as a result, there are new sectors that are coming up. So when we talk about new sectors, design is one of the sectors that is having a lot of roar into the industry, and there are many players, those who have entered into design, and design education is also somehow clicking one as one of the major choices among the youth, and a lot of youngsters are crazy about seeking design education. So in this podcast series today, we are going to talk about design education, and to discuss about design education we have an expert today. We have Dr. Gulashs with us. We welcome you, Dr. Gulashs.
Thank you so
And
much.
you are coming from ICF and
International College of
International College of Fashion.
Right.
Which is a major college, I would say, in fashion design or overall in design framework. And you have varied experience when I asked about you.
Ji.
So you have traveled abroad for your education, and you have done PhD in design. So we would like to know a little bit about you, first of all, to begin with in this podcast.
Sure. So to begin with, well, I was trained to be an interior designer. So
Okay.
that's my beginning. Because design, the basics of designs are primarily the same throughout. So interiors was something that I was very fascinated about. And then as we went along, home styling happened, and fashion happened, and then I wanted to learn more. So I went to Suffolk University to do my BSc in design, and understanding design was very important. But then when we got back to India, I realized that the business aspect is important as well, which took me to do my master's in marketing. And I also did some program in way back in 19 or 91. I had done a course in fashion or in entrepreneurship, not fashion, in
Okay.
entrepreneurship from PhD Chambers of
Okay.
Commerce. And from there, that business sense started coming in, and then I got into freelancing. Yes, I have a lot of experience, about 20 plus experience of years of
great.
experience in freelancing in design, both fashion and interiors. And I also started education in the meanwhile. I started teaching, and teaching got me that passion that
Okay.
because when we learned design, and I see a lot of students who learn designing, but they come out of the college, go into the real world, and they realize हमने तो ये भी नहीं पढ़ा था, हमें ये नहीं सिखाया. So that was a gap. And then when we spoke to a lot of designers, they also feel that what you learn and what the real market is, it's absolutely different. So that's what made me realize that there is a huge gap, and that needs to be filled. And that's why I actually got more inclined towards education, and that's what my PhD also is about. It's about design education.
Wonderful.
So yeah, that's my journey.
So it is
so
about
far.
even design education means you have an expertise into designing the pedagogy or methodology.
Yes. So learning outcomes. How do you teach? Let's say, for example, when we teach the basic, which is the elements of design, we teach about lines and prints and all of that. But in a normal education, it transforms into prints. So अगर आप लाइंस सीख रहे हैं, आपको पता है एलिमेंट्स में लाइंस है, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली स्ट्राइप्स में आ जाता है या प्रिंट्स में आ जाता है. But then we have to understand prints is important, but the silhouette is more important. So the job of a fashion designer, unlike the myth कि आप डिजाइन कर रहे हो, बहुत अच्छे क्रिएटिव कपड़े हैं, रैंप पे जा रहे हैं, you need to sell them. And for that, people need to love wearing the clothes. So there the engineering bit of design comes in, where you need to understand the body type, and you need to understand how do you relate the elements to the silhouettes that you're creating. So in my definition, a designer needs to camouflage the flaws of a body, but everybody is not a perfect 10. So we all are all sizes and all shapes and heights, and everyone should be comfortable and should look stunning when they're wearing it. So that's what design education will primarily, the pedagogy or the learning outcomes is what we are talking about. So in our class here at ICF, if somebody's learning or designing for you, they will probably have a lot of questions vis-a-vis from any other design student. वो आप उनको बोलोगे आप डिजाइन करें, they'll quickly pick up a pen and pencil and a paper, and they'll quickly sketch and they'll make beautiful designs. But a student of ICF will have a whole lot of questionnaire for you. What are your color preferences, which occasion, day, night, indoor, outdoor.
So understanding the need of the client is the first thing you begin with.
Right.
Okay, that is the philosophy behind.
Yes. So, I might like something which is very flouncy and that's made of a certain fabric, and I'm not okay with that fabric. And then the whole design goes. So the first thing is ask what your, what is your budget and things like that. So what your client wants, ask questions, and then make the design.
I remember through this talk, Henry Ford used to say that people would only prefer black cars at some point of time, and how Ford got swept away from the competition that they got from Japanese, and they brought in all colors. Today we are using all kind of colors.
And Ford itself is using colors now.
Yes,
I own a fiery orange color car from Ford. So that's even the so elements, colors. So colors also will help you in understanding of your brand perceptions. I like, if I have something like a red and orange that make a red or yellow that McDonald uses, and if I want to have a couture brand, I cannot use those colors.
Very true.
So I have to understand in that term also. So at ICF, this is what we kind of it's an amalgamation of all.
Great to know you have a wonderful experience in both marketing and designing. So I'm sure students would be really benefited out of the experience that you have, and once they are under your able guidance, they would definitely flourish. So ICF, I want to know about this institute. How did it come into inception, and why they entered into this field, like fashion?
Right.
I remember the name that is associated with the ICF is of Bajaj Capital.
So Bajaj Capital is the parent company, and they've been into education ever since the year 2000. So we've been having courses in financial planning, because they are the pioneers of bringing in financial plannings in India.
Yes.
So that's their core. And of course, like every other college, they would also like to bring in more verticals. And one of them is design. And I was brought in the year 2009 to bring in this vertical. And again, the idea was they wanted to mix business with design. So, in a normal context, designers don't think business. They only think design. Creative people are just creative. They can't,
absolutely.
they don't think design. So the idea was, like I said, we were, while I was creating and we were creating this curriculum, we had a lot of talks and conversations with the industry people. So the best, all the designers, all the brands, and anybody who's involved, even a karigar for that matter, we spoke to a lot of people, and there was a gap between what was being taught and what is really required. So our curriculum kind of bridged that gap. So that was the thought, and we started. My first batch was in 2010. So, and we've had a number of, and I can boast about it, because vis-a-vis any other college, I have 100% placement
What
record.
Is the total number of students you have over there?
So again, in a class, from the university point of view, we
Yes.
are allowed a lot of students.
Okay,
We
okay.
have a cap of 60 students.
Okay.
But because of the DNA of our program, which means fashion with business, so we teach business, we teach designing. It's like how other colleges, in any design college, you have different courses.
Okay.
So you have a design course, you have textiles, you have fashion communication, journalism, textiles, everything. So merchandising, visual merchandising, retail management. So all of that is separate courses everywhere else.
Okay.
Here it is all in one. So these things come in as your subjects.
Okay.
So I always say it's like baking a cake.
Okay.
To have a nice fluffy sweet cake,
So
you
a lot
need
of
all these
ingredients.
ingredients in various quantities,
Yeah.
but you do need all of them. So if I want to start a business of my own, I cannot standalone be learning just designing. I need to learn how to run the business, how to do
Absolutely.
costing, how to let people know that my brand exists, or how to create a brand, or how to create a brand perception, how to market it. So it's important. So even if I'm not starting immediately of my own, if I'm working under a designer, they don't need you to tell them what to design, because that's their core. They need you to handle the rest of the business. And in any scenario, people who are bringing in more business are more important in an
Yes,
organization and
that is
better
the most,
paid.
of course, revenue plays the major role.
Correct. So if I have to hire somebody, a fresh graduate, and I know I have different departments, and I hire one person who can look after my social media, my website, my production, my sampling, my visuals at my stores. So I have to, I don't need five people. I can get it done by one person and pay them better.
Correct.
So I'll give you an example.
It's an example. It's like a multidisciplinary world.
Correct. So fortunately, and I can again be very proud of that. During the pandemic, a lot of people were losing their jobs, but our students were getting jobs at the time because they were digitally very well equipped. So that is, I think, a very, very good thing.
That's great. That's great. So in ICF, it is you are primarily focusing on fashion, or you have more, I would say, verticals, or
no, it's only fashion.
Only fashion.
Only
so
fashion.
It's a core fashion institute.
Absolutely.
And you have all aspects of fashion, be it like product, or be it into, let's say, application of fashion into interiors, or application of.
So you see, again, when we teach them, they learn textiles, they learn products, they learn packaging also, for that matter. So sometimes in a fashion world, your byproducts are something which you can create into something new and sell. So that makes your costing a lot better. And you know how impulse buying is. So if I'm buying something and I see another product line, maybe a matching pouch, maybe a matching glass covers or something, it just, you will want to buy it. So it's just something that you will learn to lure the consumer that, okay, I can get this also. And as far as interiors are concerned, interior designing is more architectural, but home styling is more like fashion. So we style ourselves. We need to know how the space looks like. I can style something like that. So when they're learning textiles, they're learning different printing
So we are
methods,
also covering
etc.
accessories.
Absolutely, all of it.
Okay.
Yes.
The communication part.
Absolutely.
Oh, great. So being Delhi based, I'm sure, because Delhi is a very fashionable place and very diverse in
it's a
culture.
fashion hub.
It's a fashion hub.
Ji.
So what kind of craze have you seen in the past few years among the fashion students, those who are coming to you?
See, the craze is more, when they come initially, it's all glamour and glitz. So that's a bubble that we burst.
Fashion shows.
Yes, fashion shows. So that's the bubble we burst in the first go, that look, it's a lot of hard work before you reach the ramp. So typically in the curriculum itself, so when we give our projects, so students do a class project, it is always showcased at a fashion week.
Okay.
So when they do a fashion week, they understand the backstage management,
Okay.
because they're working with real life professionals, so
Absolutely.
models and choreographers and event management and backstage management.
Correct.
So they start working like a designer. They spend a month before,
Okay.
and they create a garment design. Then they think about what is to be talked about when they go on the ramp. So the garments, so they do a write up on that. They do some documentary shootings on that. Then they do some style, then fittings happen, and then they have to choreograph with the choreographer. They will sit and have sittings with them, and then there's a final show time, and then they are presented as designers. So while they're doing that, because it's an entrepreneurial thought process, uh, they also start creating their own pages as a class project. So they are already as professionals on the Instagrams and Facebooks and all. So whatever they're creating, they're putting it there on their pages and bringing followers. And a lot of times they sell those same garments online. So it's absolute business. So hands-on practical work, core reality, core what the actual market requires. So that's their experience there.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's fun. There's a lot of market surveys that they need to do. We have all the designers in Delhi who come to the classrooms.
Oh, wonderful.
So our students have to just pick up a call and say, I'm a student from ICF and we would like to come
That
and
brings
talk.
in a lot of curiosity in me, like, what kind of faculty you draw?
Like I said, we have star faculties, which is people from the industry. So we are very well networked. And that is what is also taught about the students, because a whole lot of our alumni, they've started their own businesses. They're working under big designers. So that group of people will also mentor them.
Okay.
And of course, we have designers who come in and mentor. The faculty members who come and teach are industry professionals.
Okay.
So anybody who's teaching a particular subject to you is a professional in the industry.
Okay.
Practicing that subject.
Okay.
So like a merchandiser
is teaching you merchandising.
Is teaching you
buying and
merchandising.
selling.
Somebody teaching you fashion communication. So we have a faculty who's teaching you fashion photography. He's a big name in the industry. He's Mr. Rohit Suri. He's also been shooting
yes. He's a big name.
Priyanka Chopra's first photo shoot and portfolio was made by him. He's a documentary maker also. So he's so he comes to classroom to teach these.
So your place must be like
it's buzzing
full of,
all the time.
Celebrities.
Oh yes, it's buzzing all the time, because it's something
must be
or
having
the other.
a good time, like.
Good time isliye because something or the other is happening. They're either meeting designers or they're preparing for a fashion show. And December only we have another fashion show coming up. It's Couture Runway Week.
Okay.
So they're all buzzing with that right now. So
are you part of some memberships also because there are a lot of fashion associations in Delhi, and you have so many, I would say, Lakme Fashion Week or Amazon also conducting certain
Amazon
fashion
is
weeks.
out right now. So Fashion Design Council of India is there.
Okay.
And I think Lakme is now a part of fashion.
Part of
they've
FDCI,
merged. Yes, so they've merged. So we are a member of FDCI.
Okay.
And we are also a member of WGSN, which is a world trend forecasting site.
Wonderful.
So this is a site that every designer uses, and our students get an access to that. And it's an unlimited access. So the trends and forecast for the next couple of years also. So my students right now working for the Couture Runway Week in December, they're creating a collection of autumn winter 24, 25.
Okay. So what is the length of the courses that you run? Are you having short-term courses also along with the maybe the higher end courses like diploma or degrees?
So we have a degree program both in masters and bachelors, and their bachelor's program is a typical of a 3-year program, of which my final semester it is a placement. So the student is in class for 2.5 years, and after that they are placed in the industry. So when I say placed, it's a paid placement. So they work. and they get paid in good salaries with
Let's say how early
designers.
they start working when they join a experiential program like fashion. Let's say they begin, I'm sure first year should be, or maybe it is a foundation program where they
Um,
gel up with the materials, so many things around preparing mood boards, other elements.
with my research in
Okay.
design education, of course, it's very nice to have that creative
Hmm.
bout happening for the full 1 year.
Hmm.
We don't have that.
Okay.
So creativity and explorations
Hmm.
is done in class.
Okay.
So while I'm teaching, let's say, textiles, and I'm teaching prints, and I'm teaching something, so I need to experiment right there and then with the material that I'm going to be using.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for a fashion point of view, playing with POP or a paper mache is really not going to help me.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So that
Hmm.
is a
Hmm.
good activity
But it won't
to
actually,
to
yes, yes.
fuel your creativity,
Creativity.
but to do a practical work on it, that's something that you should do while you're doing. So explorations of materials and fabrics, etc., is done in class as a project. And like I said, the focus in our teaching is that you learn what you need to learn, and you learn it in a way that you can be able to sell in the market. So you and I, anybody, end result is I want to make money.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
how do you
ultimately.
do that if you're not exploring the market from sales point of view, to your consumer point of view? So my first foundation months for every subject, every topic, is research.
Okay,
So
okay.
you do a lot of consumer behaviors, you do a lot of market research,
Need
fabric
analysis,
research,
okay.
all those analysis have to be done, and that continues through every project that they do. So it's not that you stop. So if I'm doing a streetwear, then there's a whole new market for you to understand. So you do your research and you go research from WGSN. So we are a strict no for a Google search. Anybody who comes with a research work from Google, we don't accept it. So you have to be original, you have to do it from WGSN.
How do you manage these things now with the advancement of technology? You're having AI and
So
such
AI is
3D
a good thing
models, like,
also.
so people are not using their own creativity, rather they have started picking up the things from AI. How you have to consider it?
See,
Is it a threat to,
it is not a threat.
or is
I
it
would
going to
not say.
further enhance the
I wouldn't
creativity?
call it a threat.
Okay.
I will say this is the life, this is the way of people's growth. Because, see, when we were young, uh, mobile phones never
Yeah, never
happened.
never happened.
We
Yeah,
remembered every number.
correct.
Now, if you tell us to, recall a number apart from 4, 5 of our
So we'll have
favorites,
to, yeah, we'll have
we'll
to look
never
into our
remember.
mobiles.
And we are never in the habit of writing in a diary
Yes,
also.
yes,
So our
yes, yes.
parents and everything, they still
They still do
maintain
that
that.
way.
But then with the advanced technologies and AI is coming in, chat GTP is coming in, GPT is coming in, all of that coming in, things are getting easier for them. I feel, for me, my thought process, a student's life becomes much easier. You create something from AI, yes, that cannot be copied. So that mindset needs to be
Because
altered.
creative field is is dependent on IPRs, intellectual property rights. Means if
Yes,
you pick up some design, it has to be originally yours. Like you
but
have,
fashion is never original, right?
yes, yes,
You cannot
fashion.
have that IPR on fashion because
Yes, yes.
everything is inspired from
Okay,
somewhere.
okay,
So there
okay.
is, unfortunately, we do have the laws, but nobody can really follow. But you can put a
It is
trademark
so
on a
fast.
design.
Yeah, it is so fast. The change is happening so fast. How do we cope up with this, mechanism that is ever changing? Means you come with
That's
some
creativity.
design, and immediately that's being done off. You have to start with a new design immediately. So
That's
how you
creativity.
manage
That's
this
so,
kind of?
so quick thinking, creativity. That's where it comes in. So consumer behavior, when you start
Yes.
looking into your market, so the changes ideally come in when you do comparisons from business point of view. Your competitive
But it
comparison.
adds a lot of pressure. I think this is an industry where you have a lot of pressures as far as delivering is concerned, deadlines are concerned. or is it like all other fields?
It is like any other
Okay.
field. So if you are wanting something, if you've ordered food, you want it on time. So that is in every business. But yes, when we are doing designing, and we also, this generation is used to that also, no? So they have one garment and they go to a party, there's a Snapchat, there's a Insta post, and after that they don't want to wear those clothes
Yes,
again.
yes, yes.
So they come from that point of view. So आज छोटा बच्चा भी मोबाइल चला लेता है ना, so ये बच्चे शुरू से ही वो उतना फास्ट फैशन के यूज टू हैं, for them to create is also easier. And if they are tackling a competition in the market, so they know immediately what to do, and that's where your creative thought process is coming handy. That is why I say creativity only in designing is not important. So you have to be creative everywhere
in the entire process,
and basics of everything is more or less the same. More creativity is how do you market it, how do you present it, how do you package it. आप अपना प्रोडक्ट चेंज ना करें, लेकिन उसका टैगलाइंस चेंज करें, उसका प्रेजेंस चेंज कर दें, उसका पैकेजिंग चेंज कर दें, it becomes new, it becomes more attractive. So some there is a business that says you can order a couple of garments and that will come to your house and you can try it, and then you can send back what you don't want and keep what you want. So that's a business and a lot of people are doing that. But off lately there's another brand that's coming in who brings it in a sanduk for you, in a treasure box.
Traditional, cultural.
So it's so people would just for that experience would like to call from there. It's the same business, same clothing, same everything, but the experience the consumer gets, that's important. So creativity has to flow right from the garment design to how the consumer experiences.
I'm also seeing a lot of change in terms of what I see on internet is like you have fashion dresses which are using technical aspects like IoT, using Internet of Things inside the the means the things that you wear, and how it is changing the entire concept of matching up with the technology in fashion.
See, fortunately, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, both ways, so much of advancement in technology is right now in the Western countries. And that's because of the culture. It's more or less Western garments. So there's not much of a change.
Okay.
In India, if you want to, get into this market, we have a lot of cultures coexisting.
Maybe a very niche category.
Yes. So what happens is the handcrafts, the tangibilities. If I have to buy a lehenga or something, I will not look at an AI or how you you look on screen and stuff. I will not look into that. I want the tangibility factor. I want to wear it, and I want my family to be around me to tell me whether I'm looking nice or not. So again, the customer experience is very important, and the tangibility is important because it's a lot of money.
True.
And then it becomes like a classic that I had worn this on a special day. So this will take you down the memory also. So the emotional factors are important in India in clothing.
Yes.
So you want to buy something which is a Western garment, I can shop online. I can look into an AI format that okay, this is how it's going to look at me, and all that. But when it comes to Indian clothing, we need to wear it and see it. So.
Very true, very true. So what is the experience as far as your students get? What kind of companies visit you? Let's say internships or placements. Because I believe the course that you run is moreover based on the hands-on training.
Right.
And industry is right at the beginning of the course until the end.
Correct.
I think so. You have all industry aspects being considered when you teach.
Right. So also, I'd like to add on to that that to begin with, we are also partners with NSDC, the Sector Skill Council of India. So they also bring in a lot of experts.
Okay.
So yes, so every aspect
Okay.
of the industry people will come to your
Hmm.
classrooms to teach you. But in one class, I had mentioned that earlier also, in one class, not everybody becomes a designer because it's multidisciplinary. So everybody learns everything and takes a specialization. And that is where the placements effect. So by
Okay.
the end of the course, so after 2.5 years, a student is ready to tell us that this is where I want to go. I want to get into digital marketing. I want to become a stylist. I want to become a designer. I want to get into production. I want to. So whatever they decide they want to do, then the placements will happen accordingly.
Okay.
So I have
Okay.
everybody from the industry coming in. So I have
So
retail,
the
I
kind of
have
portfolio
design.
that you have designed, the kind of work you have
Correct.
done during your program,
Right. So
that
portfolio also,
defines.
everybody makes the same
Yeah.
portfolio.
Okay.
But if somebody has, let's say I say I want to become, a content creator, then my portfolio will outshine the content more
Okay.
than anything else. So
Something that is your core value, you would be able
right,
to depict that in front of the,
right.
I would
So
say, industry, and
G,
accordingly you will be
G, G,
placed.
G.
Okay,
So that's
wonderful.
our placements.
And tell us, like, because design education is considered to be a costly, I would say, affair as far as a perception is concerned. So how do we address this aspect? The person who does not has deep pockets still wants to pursue this kind of course. So do we have some financial aid or scholarships or some other criterias through which that education can be made affordable for students?
Of course, we have our CSRs, we have scholarships, we do have the loans and everything, the education loan tie-ups. We have
Okay,
all of
okay.
that. So all of
So
that
that
is
system is in
taken.
place.
Everything is in place, and every case, if it is required something, so we will, the organization just sits and talks and see
Okay,
what can be done.
okay.
So see, the idea is that we need people, because you'll see a lot of talent also,
Yeah.
but sometimes they are not, you know,
Hmm.
willing to do it because they can't afford it. So
Hmm.
we see also, because if somebody is really, really talented and needs a support and a hands-on, we can always look into it.
Okay. Do you have any kind of collaborations as far as international education is concerned? People, those who do graduation from your side and they want to, pass on with some credits to international universities or do a summer exchange program?
We don't have anything in specific
Okay.
with like one or two colleges, but we do have programs for internships
Okay.
that we
Okay.
send, and these internships are working at the fashion weeks
Okay.
across.
Okay.
So we've had our students go to the Milan Fashion Week last September. This September.
Okay.
So Milan Fashion Week, they went to the Paris Fashion Week,
Okay.
and they worked with the designers there, and they
Mm-hmm.
get their letters of recommendations and everything
Great.
also. And apart from that, we do take them for short courses.
Okay. Okay.
So we decide and we see what is the right course for that period of time, and we organize that, and students
Okay.
go and do
Okay.
those courses also. We are also partners with the design hub, where
Okay.
all the students get to study with all the designers like Abu Jani, Sandeep Khosla, and
Okay.
Masabas
Okay.
and all that. So that's a certificate course.
Okay.
They also have, like Abu Jani, Sandeep Khosla, they take a course in how to create a signature style. Or somebody
Okay.
takes in print, somebody takes in entrepreneurship, somebody takes in brand, somebody designing. So there are a whole lot of designers there, and as in when you complete that module, successfully completed, you will get a certificate duly signed by the designers. So that's
Okay.
an added thing
Okay.
also that they
Okay.
get. So like I said, they have to be very, very well versed with all the designers across.
Okay, one last question I would like to
G.
ask. That is out of my curiosity. Like, I do counsel a lot of students, those who come to me for creative careers as well. So I want to know from you, you being a designer yourself and having a very rich experience into it. So can means do we have we have creativity a born trait, or it can be developed?
Okay, so
Out of my
yes,
curiosity.
I like that question, and I always get this.
Hmm.
I don't know how to draw.
Hmm.
I don't know how
Yes,
to
yes,
create.
yes,
I'm
yes.
not creative. I can't draw.
Hmm.
Drawing does not mean you become a designer. Or
Absolutely.
somebody
Ha,
says, "Oh,
ha.
I'm very good in drawing. That's why I want to become a
Hmm.
designer."
Hmm.
So you and I don't walk into a store and
Hmm.
I walk into a Versace store and I say, "No, please first show me
Ha,
your drawing and then I
ha.
will buy your garment." That's not important.
Hmm.
So again, this
Ha.
becomes a part of the learning system and
Absolutely.
teaching system.
Ha.
Illustrations
Hmm.
have now been glorified so much.
Hmm. Hmm.
Portfolio में
Hmm.
बहुत सुंदर
Ha,
illustration.
ha,
But
ha.
illustration ideally is a working drawing.
Hmm. Hmm.
It was supposed to be made for your कारीगर to understand.
Hmm.
आपका दिमाग में एक डिजाइन है, आपको उसको कैसे क्रिएट करना है.
Hmm.
You will label
Hmm.
it, you will draw it, show it to the
Hmm.
कारीगर, and then he will make it accordingly. So that was the original
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
requirement for
Hmm.
a illustration.
Illustrations.
But it's been glorified, and
Yes.
people get, "Oh, I can draw so well, so that's why." So I don't know if you've heard of a designer called Vareja Bajaj. She's a good
Ha,
friend
ha,
of ours
ha.
also.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we were talking once, and then she
Hmm.
was addressing the students, and she says she showed two pictures and of a
Okay.
gown. She's saying, "If you ask me to draw this, I cannot do
I
that."
cannot.
Because she's not a design student also.
Yes,
She's
yes.
done her
Ha,
economics and
ha.
management.
Hmm.
She's, that brainchild. But she's saying, if you want me to create a garment like this, I will give you a better
Hmm.
one.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So it's not
That's the thing.
necessary
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
do that,
Hmm.
and it is something that you can work on.
Hmm.
Any skill that you want, if you are
Hmm.
consistent and you are learning and you're practicing, you can ace it
I
anytime.
think it was wonderful interacting with you today,
My pleasure. It
and
was lovely talking
we
to you too.
had a lot of enlightening, I would say, discussion today, and a lot of I think understanding has been towards the parents and the students, those who are viewers of this podcast. I'm sure we all would be benefited out of this podcast, and we'll continue doing a lot of university podcast series ahead as well. So if you have any queries or comments that you want to put in, you can put that in the comment section, and keep liking, sharing, and subscribing this channel so that we can continue doing more podcasts with you and keep you informed. Thank you very much.